Basically, I mean, you could almost go anywhere you want with some of these things. It's really just where you want to go. What is your goals?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about some of my goals, and you're going to give me a little bit about that. But you've done luxury vacations. Some of the ones that you said, are those some of those luxury? I mean, on Maui. I mean, what's that look like?
Yeah, the luxury part. So when we were in Maui, literally right outside of our hotel, we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Maui. Mm-hmm. It's literally right on the water. You walk out to the beach, and there is turtles swimming right out in front of you. There's fish. Now. You bring your snorkel gear, and literally, my kids have underwater pictures of the turtles right out in front. Cost absolutely nothing. One of the big things we use is Hyatt because it has such great value. We can get multiple night stays with just opening one little credit card.
Wow. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Tim with the TMA Connection. It's your local podcast that's focusing on people that are making a difference in the lives of others in the community and their work. And we got a difference maker here today because he's going to make a difference in the way that I vacation from this point forward. But also an educator, a fellow educator from back in the day when I was teaching. And so I'm not going to give away too much because I want you to have a proper introduction for yourself. So Mr. Pat Sears, legendary in the Bel Air community. Pat Sears, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, people might think that we're going to be talking about physical education.
We could start there if you really
we could certainly start there, but both physical educators. But you have found ways to make vacationing and travel more affordable for you and your family. And again, this is not a business. This is just something that I have seen on your social media, on Facebook, and it's quite intriguing because you know what? I need to build more vacation into my life. So I am picking your brain today. We're going to have other people get a really good understanding of what are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
You got the questions. You ask me as much as you want. Basically, this started because my wife stayed at home when we had kids, and as a phys ed teacher, as you said, we couldn't afford to go on vacation. We couldn't afford to do the extra things, so we had to penny pinch, save money.
Yep.
And basically, it all started with a party that we went to for one of our kids, and a person said, "How to get to Disney World for free? Look it up on social media, or look it up on Google," and that's where it all started.
Wow! And now, before we get into the how-tos and all that, give people some examples of what you're doing, where you're going, in your travels with your family, for yourself, your buddies. You got a lot going on. You got a lot of travel going on.
Yeah, well, I have 3 kids, so they kind of like tie me down. But when we can find some time, we've gone on a lot of free vacations. One of our highlights is we want to go back is a Norwegian cruise. We went to Alaska, left out of Seattle, went there for 7 days. We went and extended the stay in Seattle a couple of days. We went to the fish market. We've been to Toronto for an Orioles game. And again, trying to add some different experiences for my kids. Toronto's not far from Niagara Falls, so we also traveled up to Niagara Falls, got to go underneath the waterfalls.
Really?
It's a really cool experience.
Huh.
As a huge Orioles fan,
yeah,
and the Orioles are hitting some headlines.
Yes,
right
sir.
now.
Yes, sir.
We go to Sarasota regularly for spring training.
Okay.
If you've never been there before, the interaction with players is much different than when you're seeing them on the field in these big venues in regular season.
Yeah.
We've been to Fort Myers. We've been to Maui this past summer. We went to Maui and we were stuck in the wildfires. If you recall those wildfires, we literally were less than a mile away from the wildfires, and we lost power. And then we actually evacuated. We ended our stay 2 days early and went to Kauai, which we had in our plans anyway, and still were able to use some free stuff we're going to talk about here to get 2 additional free nights. And on the way back, got to hit the Orioles somehow. We stopped in Oakland and went to an Orioles game in Oakland. Last January, I don't know how loud I'm supposed to tell this, but we went on a Carnival cruise to the Bahamas for 5 nights. And basically, I mean, you could almost go anywhere you want with some of these things. It's really just where you want to go. What is your goals?
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to talk about some of my goals, and you're going to give me a little bit about that. But you've done luxury vacations. Some of the ones that you've said, are those some of those luxury? I mean, on Maui. I mean, what's that look like?
Yeah, the luxury part. So when we were in Maui, literally right outside of our hotel, we stayed at the Hyatt Regency Maui. Mm-hmm. It's literally right on the water. You walk out to the beach, and there is turtles swimming right out in front of you. There's fish. Now. You bring your snorkel gear, and literally my kids have underwater pictures of the turtles right out in front. Cost absolutely nothing. One of the big things we use is Hyatt because it has such great value. We can get multiple night stays with just opening one little credit card.
Wow. Now, let's go with the disclaimer for this right now, okay? So there are some of you that listen to this podcast or watch our stuff on social media because you're interested in real estate. Maybe you're looking to buy a house. I would say that the things that we're going to be talking about today, you should definitely talk to a lender prior to making any decisions if you're in the home buying process, because this is going with your credit and your credit score. And as we know, credit scores are one of the major factors that lenders look at when they are approving. So I don't want to give the message out here that this is going to be for everyone. You gotta take this. This has worked for Pat. This is gonna work for me. But what are some situations where this might not work for somebody other than buying a house?
Well, first of all, if you cannot pay your credit card bills, do not do this because that funds all the vacations I travel on.
Okay.
So the interest rate on a credit card, can be from 19 to 25 to 35%.
Yeah.
So you need to pay your bill. If you can't pay your bill, don't put it on your credit card.
Okay. You have to be able to pay it off every month.
Correct. Or you're going to be paying that interest, and then it makes it not worthwhile.
Okay.
The $3,000 vacation you get for free is not going to be free anymore because you're going to be paying interest on the loan that basically the credit card company's giving you. Like you talked about, it does touch your credit score. Now, I will tell you, when I started this, my credit score was between 780, right around 780.
Okay, which is a great credit score.
My credit score now is between 830 and 850.
Wow.
So this temporarily could lower your score. However, and again, like you said, you talk to a lender. I would not recommend it if you're going to be buying a house in the next couple months. Mm-hmm. And then I would obviously talk to different people about. If it's just one lender you're talking to, maybe talk to a second one just to double check.
Yeah.
If you're going to refinance a house, not time to do that. It's not worth the 0.5% interest rate over 30 years for a couple $1,000,
right? Because
it's going to be much more than that. Right. So you got to have the ability to pay off your bills. Don't spend extra. We're not talking about. I don't want to go out and spend another $3,000 because I need to.
Yeah.
It's spending money the way you would normally, but being able to put it on a credit card.
Yeah, so there are monthly expenses that instead of taking out of your checking account, you are putting it on a credit card and then paying that credit card at the end of the month, basically.
Exactly. So I found a way to get my BGE bill put on a credit card, cable, cell phones, gas when you just go to the gas station.
Yeah.
All those things, I find ways to use my credit card and still try to pay the lowest price possible.
Okay.
So a normal credit card, you're going to get 1.5% cash back. There might be some situations where it gives you gas at certain months for 5% or groceries for 5%. But the welcome offers on credit cards are much more valuable. Many welcome offers might say you get to earn $1,000 if you spend $5,000 in the first 3 months. Well, they're giving you that money because they want to entice you to have their card and spend it regularly.
Okay.
What we do is we open up that card, and once we spend the $5,000 welcome offer, we move on to another card. We move our cell phone bills, we move our gas, electric, we move that to a new card so that we don't always have it on the same.
Okay,
So we're not spending additional money. Mm-hmm. We're just moving our spend to different cards.
Now, when you open that line of credit with a credit card and then you've moved it to another credit card, do you close the other one down or do you keep that open?
It's a great question. So one of the things we talked about with credit is the age of your credit.
Okay.
So actually my mom really helped me out at the beginning because she wanted to improve my credit when I was younger. Even if you have listeners that don't want to open up and do what we're going to be talking about, it may be important that if they have kids to start them with a credit card when they're 18, 20 years old, because that will improve their credit. So when I was 18, I got a credit card through Bank of America. My mom had me sign off for, and I've had that ever since. And now with 25 years, that age of credit is super helpful for raising the credit score, and why probably I can do this really easily.
Yeah, because when you cancel that credit card, you're basically eliminating that credit history, and that's, again, like you were saying, part of how your credit score gets so high.
Yes, and to piggyback off that, there are some credit cards that are no annual fee, and there are some credit cards that have an annual fee. If there is an annual fee and I don't like the benefits of that annual fee with getting it, so let's say I get 4 upgraded boardings. If I don't think that's worth the $199, then I would cancel that card. However, there are a ton of cards I do not cancel because there is no annual fee, and I do like the benefits. So some cards come with like a free night certificate somewhere where it's only $99 or $69. So you just have to weigh the pros and cons.
Right.
But if there is a no annual fee card, I will always keep that open unless there is some other reasoning for me closing it, like I'd like to open it again in the future.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so taking a look at some, you were talking about the purpose behind your travel. Okay, so let's talk about the expenses of vacationing. You have flights, you have hotel stays. What other expenses do you have there that I'm not thinking
excursions,
of?
If you wanted to do anything special, some hotels have a resort fee.
Okay.
Now the Hyatts where I like to vacation, if you have globalist status, there is no resort fee.
Okay.
There is no parking fee. They give you free breakfast every day.
Yeah.
So those types of things that we are able to get with our family of 5 is unbelievable. And that's how, when we say luxurious, that's what my term of luxurious is, because you get a lot of things included without paying for them. We like to go on these far places. We do spend money, but we spend money on the excursion. So we've swam with dolphins 3 times because it's just unbelievable. We swam with dolphins in Bahamas. We go to Discovery Cove in Orlando, in Maui. We've swam with turtles. We've snorkeled. We've gone in caves. I mean, it is just the things we couldn't afford to get out there if we
had to pay for the flight.
Yeah.
And
then we would never have, if we would have saved our life to try to be able to go to Hawaii, we would never have been able to do all these extra things because we just couldn't afford it. So it really allows us not only to see some cool places, but then be able to afford to do some things.
Sure.
When we're out there.
How old are your kids?
My kids are in 8th grade, 7th grade, and 4th grade. So we got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
What great experiences that you are providing for your kids that will just last a lifetime.
They don't even understand. They don't understand how when I was a kid, we did not grow up going on vacation everywhere. We might have gone on a ski trip. We did vacation in Ocean City yearly, but that was pretty much our, I came up with a family that the newspaper came out on Sundays. We went through and we would shop in the coupon section and take it to the grocery store just to make ends meet. So this is something that has been driving force where I can, mentally try to think about what can I do to lower the price of this or lower the price of that.
Yeah. So when you're living that kind of lifestyle, how important is it to really know what your monthly budget is, how much you're spending? Because like you said, it's so important not to put more on the credit card than you can actually afford to pay off at the end of the billing cycle.
Yeah, like I said before, when my wife and I chose to allow her to stay home with our kids to raise them, we basically made a choice at that point that we weren't going to spend extra. We don't go out and my wife doesn't go out and get her nails done. My wife doesn't, go to the hair salon. That's one of the things that she kind of was okay with because we couldn't afford to do that kind of thing. And it kind of just kept with us the entire time. We don't do extra spending. So we go to the grocery, obviously there's grocery bills. There's budgeting for that.
Yeah.
There's BGE bills. But we're to the point where, we're comfortable now because we are able to see that if it's not something we need, we say no.
Mm-hmm.
So
living within your means.
And
I think that's a tough thing for some people, but just because your wife doesn't go out and get her nails doesn't necessarily mean that other people. I know you're not. I know you're not. I'm just trying to say
people, that's important.
That's important. Really important. They value that, right?
And it helps their self-esteem, and that's important to help your self-esteem.
Sure.
But we couldn't afford it. Like we would be in credit card debt. We wouldn't be able to pay all our bills if we did all the extra things. Going out to eat, we didn't go out to eat when my kids were young. We just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Unless we were going out with my parents or her parents that would help pay for that. Like we just couldn't do it. Like it was just not an option.
Yeah. So are you pretty much living a debt-free lifestyle right now?
Oh, absolutely. I will have my mortgage paid off in 2 years.
Come on now. How long have you been living in your house?
I've been living in my house for a little less than 20 years. I refinanced to a 15-year loan a few years into it.
Yeah.
Paying 2.75% interest.
Right.
Crazy interest rates right now.
I'm going to be listing your house anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. For a while I wanted to buy, but then, knowing that in 2 years I will not have a mortgage is kind of something I'm looking forward to.
That's huge.
You know, we did to get new cars. We had to, so we do have a little bit of money to pay off on that. But that is our debt. Like literally, that is the only thing we owe. There are so many ways to save money.
Yeah.
And the best part about credit cards is that you don't get taxed. It's a reward. It's the government sees that as a rebate on what you've purchased. So there's no tax on it. So at the end of the year, you get all that. You get all that reward dollars that you've built up, and you can do what you want with it and not get that, whatever percent the government would like to take from you.
Right. So how often are you traveling and funding these adventures?
Not often enough.
As much as the school system will let you take off. Right?
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness we are off in the summer, but I just don't have. I try to go on like 6-7 trips a year. And we're talking about like long weekends.
Okay.
We usually go over Christmas break. We will go somewhere.
Okay.
For my birthday this year, we're going to try to go to the Bahamas. We're going to stay in another Hyatt Regency. We actually are going to Aruba over spring break.
Nice.
So yeah, I try to go anytime the school system gives us a couple of days off. I try to. You
guys are out there planning it. How far ahead are you planning these things?
That is trips? A great question. You need to plan it. So on all the points, there's awards that need to be taken a look at, and they go out almost a year. So if you're looking for a hotel, you have to book between 9 and 12 months in advance. So there is some planning involved, and that is probably the most difficult part other than earning the rewards.
Yeah.
Finding the award space at the certain hotels or even on flights. Now, Southwest is a little bit nicer because that is what we usually fly. And Southwest, if there is a flight available, they will always use that same number of points. Each point is worth 1.3 points. So whatever you're looking at, if it's $200, you're going to use that same amount of number in points for 1.3 cents per point.
Interesting. Okay. So do you have a Southwest credit card to fly Southwest?
Absolutely. Okay. But I use the points and never pay Southwest except for their taxes and fees of $5.60. So one of the coolest things, if you like to fly domestically, meaning Southwest does not fly to France, does not fly to Spain.
Sure.
You got to fly mostly in the U.S. It'll go to Aruba. It'll go to the Bahamas. They'll go to Mexico. They'll go to Costa Rica, those types of places. If you want to fly there, you can basically get a buy one, get one on Southwest Airlines right now just by getting a companion pass. So if I charge money and are able to get the companion pass, I'm going to use my points. Then to pay for my flight, I'll pay $5.60 other than my points. And then I can take someone else, my companion, who is one of my daughters, on that flight for the same price, one set of points. So if it costs 20,000 points for me to go, it costs 20,000 points for myself and my daughter to go on this flight. $5.60 for each of us, so $11.20. That's why we go a lot of places. So for a family of 5, we're flying for $55 there and back.
Yeah, so does your wife also have a card to cover her and I guess the other child? Because you're a family of 5, so there's always somebody sitting alone on the roller coaster.
My oldest daughter is her own, does not have a companion. She's going to be 18 in a few years. 4 years, we're counting down. She's talking about it.
Okay.
But my wife has a companion pass. I have a companion pass. So basically, if the flight there and back costs us $20,000. I'm paying $20,000. My wife's paying $20,000. My oldest daughter Jordan, we're paying 20,000 points for her and paying $55 total for all 5 of us to travel. So for 60,000 points, the 5 of us can pretty much go wherever we want.
So would that mean that you're putting $60,000 on credit to get those points?
That is not correct.
Okay, thank you.
Now, when we talked before, if you're getting that 1% that is normal on the cash back or for rewards, that would be correct. You would need to spend $60,000 in order to get 60,000 points. However, Southwest often runs specials. Right now, it's 50,000 points after you spend $1,000 in 3 months.
Come on now.
So you can get 50,000 points rewarded to your account. It'll take about anywhere between 14 and 28 days after your statement. Excuse me, when your statement cuts, it'll take a couple days. But from the time you meet the $1,000 spend, it'll take about anywhere from 14 to 28 days, depending on when your statement cuts, and it will be awarded in your Southwest account. And you can literally go on there, and instead of searching for cash, you can search for points, and then you literally book that and pay only $5.60 for each one-way trip.
Interesting. Huh. So, and those points, do they ever expire?
And Southwest,
do you have like a timeline that you have to get these done by?
There are some awards that do. Southwest does not expire. There are some, though, that you need to have some kind of deduction or addition to those points in 12 or 18 months. So you would have to know some ins and outs about that.
Okay.
A lot of places are doing, there's no ever expiration, though, nowadays. So that is really nice. And when we talked about Companion Pass, one of the things to really think about with that and how we go for free is anytime you're in one calendar year, so from January 1st to December 31st, you earn 125,000 points and have a credit card with them, you will earn a Companion Pass. So if you open up a credit card that is 50,000 bonus points after 1,000 spent, and then you get another card later on in the year, so there is a business card that is for 80,000 points after 5,000 spent. You add those two up, 50 plus 80, that's going to give you 130,000 points in the calendar year. You will then have the Companion Pass. You will not only have the Companion Pass, but you also have 130,000 points to spend and go wherever you want. Again, the only thing you'll need to pay out of pocket is the $5.60 for the taxes and fees that goes to the government.
Okay. And so for that specific credit card, that just goes for the airline.
Southwest cards will only go towards Southwest.
Okay.
Now, they do have, it's not nearly as good of a value. You can use those points for gift cards and stuff like that. There are a lot of credit issuers that allow you to get gift cards and stuff like that. There is not a lot of cash back, and then when it is, if it says we'll give you $750 cash back for spending or $500 cash back, a lot of times that is strictly a cash back card, and it's not quite as lucrative as using it towards travel.
Okay.
So some people that may need the money, that might be something for them. But if you want to go on travel, you can use some of those same points, and it can be worth a lot more than what they're saying.
Interesting. Okay, so Southwest is definitely a card that's in your wallet right now. What's another credit card or two or whatever that really helps fund what you are doing? Yeah.
So Chase is Chase Bank is just unbelievable. They have a lot of relationships that are really good for us. They have a relationship with Southwest. So if you get Chase Ultimate Reward Points, so if you have a Chase Ink card as a business card, if you have a Chase Sapphire card, that's a personal card. If you have a Chase Freedom card, it's a rotating 5% categories. If you have a Chase Unlimited, which is a 1.5% cash back, all those give you ultimate reward points. They sometimes call them UR points. Those UR points are worth 1 cent per point. So if you have 10,000 points, it's worth $100.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you can go anywhere you want for $100 on the reward. However, if you open up a Chase Preferred card or a Chase Ink Preferred card, a Chase Sapphire Preferred card or a Chase Ink Preferred, that will open up each one of those points is worth 1.25. So it gives you a little bit of boost.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's another one. If you open up the Sapphire Reserve, now it comes with annual fees, all these cards, those cards that are
okay.
But again, if you're weighing the benefits of them, that is worth 1.5 times. So if you have 100,000 points that you just got, that's now worth $1,500 instead of $1,000. When you're talking about going on a free cruise, you probably need about $2,000, depending on how many people are going to go with you. You need about 200,000 points in order to get that free cruise. which will make it worth $3,000 if you're doing some math in your head.
Yeah, because I'm not right now. I'm just like, I'm a vegetable right now.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you kind of had in the back of your mind, I would say for any listener, you got to start small. Do one thing at a time. Open up one card to start. That's what I did. I was like, do I really want to do this? This is really nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And take the easy one. Take a card that is, you only have to spend $500 and you're getting $200 back. Maybe start there. However, I will say that there are some rules associated with credit cards. Chase only allows you to have, you will only get approved if you have 4 credit cards in the last 24 months.
Okay.
And those are personal cards. So if you open up a business card, that does not count against your limit in most cases. So if I open up a Chase business card, that doesn't count against the personal limit that they have.
Okay. Yep.
So you want to think, if you really want to plan down the road, I would start with Chase. Chase is lucrative. Again, I didn't touch base really well. Southwest, they have Hyatt, they have United Airlines. They have IHG, but it's not a good transfer. There's a couple others that aren't quite as good of transfer, but the biggest, and if you ever want to just like go to a beach, it's Hyatt. You want to get Chase points, transfer them to Hyatt. You can get Chase points and transfer them to Southwest. That doesn't help you with a companion pass. That doesn't count towards all that stuff. You can use those points, but it's not nearly as valuable. Think about it. The Chase points can be worth 1.5 cents per point. Southwest points are worth 1.3 cents per point. So you're devaluing your points if you do send them.
If you do send them to Southwest.
But if you send these same points to Hyatt, I mean, you can get 4 or 5 cents per point. So we're talking, 3-4 times as much. So
right. And you're just keeping track of all these points on the statements that come out every month.
And they go straight into your account. So if you have a Hyatt account first of all, if you have a Chase account, each person has even if I have 7 Chase cards open at the same time, they all get pulled into the same account.
Okay.
And then I can transfer them between the accounts. They allow you to do that. And they also transfer between households, like in your own household. So my wife and I can pull our points, and Chase will perfectly allow that.
Oh, interesting.
So if my wife has 250,000 points, I have 250,000 points, we have 500,000 points, that's $5,000. Or if we open up a Chase Sapphire Reserve card, one of us, there is an annual fee, $550, but they do offset it with some things. That now becomes much more valuable, $7,500 worth of travel. We could take a cruise, we could do a lot of different things with that.
Wow. So do you, based on the benefits of the cards and what you're spending monthly, do you put certain things on one credit card because it maximizes that, and put something else, on another credit card? Like I think you in our notes you were talking about rotate spending or something like that. So
yeah, if you were a business owner that had a lot of spend, you could do some extreme things. However, for me, I get the most bang for my buck by just moving all my spend to a new card. So literally the only spend I don't transfer sometimes is my cable bill can get 5% cash back on my Ink card. I will sometimes always put it on there. And some of our cell phones, like the Verizon now offers a prepaid, an auto pay discount. So if you pay by debit card or out of your checking account, you're getting a discount. So you have to weigh whether that's more important or not. I like to have those points, and there are some ways to get around how they are in order to be able to still prepay with your credit card. Yeah. So to answer that question, very short, I try to rotate everything to the new card. Okay. So we just opened up at the end of the year. It's a great time to start opening cards because you can get benefits of every year. So American Express had a business gold card, and they give you free Walmart Plus. Walmart Plus then gives you free Paramount Plus. And they also give you $20 in Staples every month, or office supply stores. So you can go to Office Depot, Staples, and they'll give you get a $25 gift card, and they'll take $20 off that gift card. So we opened up that card. It also gave us 170,000 American Express points, and that can be transferred straight to cash. So we do some things for cash back. That's $1,700 cash back. Now, the annual fee on that card was $295. So in my opinion, $1,700 versus $295.
Minus $295, you're still
every day of the week.
Yeah.
They also, if your listeners if they're self-employed and you have to pay quarterly taxes, you can pay quarterly taxes on your credit card.
Get out of town.
Yeah. So there are legit websites. It's run all through the government. There are third-party sites. There's about 4 of them. The cost in that is 1.87%. So if you're getting 1.5% cash back, or a lot higher if it's a welcome bonus, I certainly would every day of the week sign up for paying my estimated taxes quarterly on a credit card. So if anybody out there is thinking, how can I spend money without spending money? If you have to pay estimated taxes, that is one easy way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's all through the government. And there is a lot of different resources out there.
Which kind of leads into my next question. Certainly experience is a great educator, but for starting out, were there certain resources that you used or certain resources that you can recommend people that are listening that they can dive deeper into? Because there's a lot of numbers being thrown around, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and there's a lot of different scenarios and situations, and based on what your goals are,
and the game
stuff
changes
like that.
every day.
And it changes every day.
Like I said to you earlier, yesterday, Southwest came out with a new offer on a credit card. So absolutely, when I first started, I searched how to go to Disney World for my family of 4 for free, or almost free. And that is what opened up all the different websites that I went to. Big website is doctorofcredit.com.
Okay.
He's also on Twitter and all other social media. He sends out regular tweets when something new comes out. Like there'll be five tweets a day, 10 tweets a day. That's how I get the information. You can also just get it on his website. There are communities out there as well, Reddit communities. It's a little bit like it's hard to dive in. You have to do some reading before. People don't really love to share information very easily because if a lot of people do something, they're gonna shut that down a little bit. So
and then you also have to dissect between what is good information, what is
absolutely
not so good information.
If there's anybody that really wanted to get more information, I would start at doctorofcredit.com.
Okay.
I also just started a blog on it's a Facebook page actually. It's travel using credit cards to travel for free. So you can also check out there. I just started it. Like you said before, I really don't make anything off of it. If you use a referral that is the same, so Southwest is offering on chase.com, a credit card. Yeah. There might be a referral that's the same thing. So it doesn't cost you anybody out there additional, but that would be the only way I would get any kind of kickback. Okay. I'm literally doing this because I enjoy and I like to see what other people are able to do so that I know where to go next. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Like there are a couple things in the community that I talked about, the Reddit community. They have weekly reports of where they went, and that kind of has me think about where I want to go next. Yeah.
So what's next?
That is a great question. So as I mentioned, in spring break, we're going to Aruba.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
This summer, we're going to just go to Tampa and watch the Orioles play in Tampa. Okay. There's a little opening though. I'm still trying to get a cruise in there somewhere. Yeah. I don't know if we'll have time. And then for my birthday, we are going to the Bahamas. Over next Christmas, we're going back to Fort Myers. Our favorite hotel is the Hyatt Regency Coconut Point. They have a beach shuttle. It's a boat that goes to a beach. They have water slides. They have it all.
Oh, wow.
All on site. And then I would love to go to Mexico or Dominican Republic. My wife really is hesitant about the crime and stuff like that. Sure. But we need to do a little bit more research about where to go. But that is on our bucket list for soon. So there are some all-inclusives that Hyatt offers, and that's what we are looking at in the next 18 months probably.
What a great way to build the relationship between you and Jamie and your 3 kids.
Absolutely.
I mean, you are just, I said it before, you're creating wonderful memories while, boosting your credit score. But
boosting and using your credit.
Using your credit to your benefit though. And again, living within your means is very important in being able to pay that off every month in a responsible manner. There's a system to this, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. And like I said, if there's questions you need me to clarify, your listeners need me to clarify anything. Yeah, I'll be happy to reach out and answer.
Yeah, where can people connect with you?
Yeah, like I said, we will share. I'll tag you in a little post on Facebook, and you can reach out via Facebook or anything like that. I also have my email address is Patrick, Patrick, Sears, Sears 33@yahoo.com.
Okay.
I'll be happy to answer any questions. Like I said, I'm local right here in Harford County, teach at Bel Air Middle, and I'll be happy to help anybody.
Yeah, I mean, this is a common man doing pretty cool things, And I too, when I taught, it was my wife stayed at home, and we had 3 kids, and it was like literally one paycheck to the next, and overdrawing the account and having to put a little bit from the savings and just that hustle. But you've found a way to make money and credit work for you to create a pretty cool lifestyle that's going to last. The memories are going to last forever.
There are things I've done that I never thought I could do.
Yeah. You're a public school, middle school teacher,
Absolutely. And almost none of my salary is going to these. That's the best part about it. Like everybody's saying, but I can't do that. You can. You can. If you put your mind to it and you want to spend a little bit, it does take time.
Yeah.
It does take time. You have to make sure you pay the first thing I do is every time I get a new credit card is set up auto pay. I do not want to miss that payment.
Sure.
So that it is auto pay automatically. And I make sure that I don't spend more than is in that account.
Yeah.
And that, if you can do that, I'll tell you right now, it will change your life. You want to go on a cruise? You want to fly somewhere? You want to stay in hotels? It can all be done very simply.
I love it. Guys, follow Pat Sears on Facebook. Yep. Friend him. Look up the doctorofcredit.com, and as well as on Twitter. We'll put all those stuff up on the screen. And man, if you're not following us yet, well, gosh darn it, follow us at Facebook and Instagram at the Markland Advantage, and we're on YouTube where this video will play as well. So if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, and we're on all of them, but you can certainly watch it too on YouTube. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So, Pat Sears.
Tim, thanks for having me.
It's been a long time. Thank you for coming in and sharing. I love what you're putting out there, and folks, check it out. Check it out for yourself.
Travel for free.
There it is. That's the title of the episode. Travel for Free with Pat Sears. And until next time, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care.